Started like any other Tuesday. Got to the office early, poured my usual half-burnt coffee, booted up my laptop inbox already overflowing. It's like always, same chair, same desk, same me. 17 years in this place, I knew every shortcut key, every broken printer, every voice in the hallway. Then around 10:07 a.m., my boss pinged me. "Can you step into my office for a second?" I didn't think twice. Thought it was about the quarterly numbers or the new hire I was supposed to train next week. I walked in, coffee still in hand. He didn't smile, didn't ask me to sit, just closed the door behind me. Then he said the sentence. It cracked my whole world open. "We're letting you go." Just like that. No build-up. No explanation longer than 2 sentences. No thank you for your service. No handshake. I just stood there, still holding my coffee. It suddenly felt too hot. Too heavy. Like my hands weren't part of me anymore. I wanted to say something, ask why, ask how, scream. But I didn't. I just nodded. He handed me an envelope, said HR would walk me out by noon, by lunch. I was holding a cardboard box full of 17 years of loyalty. No one looked me in the eye as I left. People I trained. People I ate lunch with silent. It's wild how fast they forget you the moment. You're no longer useful. 1 sentence. That's all it took to erase almost 2 decades of my life. I wasn't the smartest guy in the room. Not the loudest. Not the one with fancy degrees or slick presentations. But I showed up every damn day. I stayed late when others left. Came in early just to double-check numbers no one else cared about. Covered. Holiday shifts when people wanted to be with their families, even if it meant missing my own. I still remember the night my daughter had her school play. I stayed behind to finish a report someone else forgot to file. Told myself, it'll pay off later. When new hires joined, I was the one who trained them, taught them the systems, gave them shortcuts. Let them shine even when they're shine. Came from my work. I didn't complain. I fixed problems that weren't mine. Volunteered for projects I didn't have time for. Said yes even when I wanted to scream no, because I believed in something. Something old school. Maybe even naive, loyalty. I thought if you gave your best, if you kept your head down, if you showed them they could count on you, then they'd count you in when it mattered most. But now, looking back, I realize I wasn't building a career. I was building someone else's safety net with my time, my energy, my life. And when it came time for them to return the loyalty, I got was an envelope. Looking back now, I realized the cracks were always there. They just started small. I stopped getting invites to leadership meetings, the kind I used to help run. Someone else younger, flashier started taking over my projects. They called it cross-training. Felt more like a racing. Then there was the new manager. Never made eye contact when I spoke. Barely knew what I did. Didn't ask. Either performance reviews went from excellent contributor to needs to adapt to modern expectations. Whatever that meant. I laughed it off. Told myself it was just office politics. That I was safe, I mean. Been there nearly 2 decades, who fires a guy like me? But things shifted quietly. I'd share an idea in a meeting silence. 10 minutes later, someone else repeated it. Got applause. They stopped checking in. Stopped asking for input. Stopped seeing me. I used to tell my wife.
I think they're
phasing me out, she'd ask. Then why stay? And I'd say the same thing every time. Because I've made it this far. It'll turn around. But the truth? I stayed because I was scared to start over, because I believed I owed them something. Now, I realize the cracks weren't the beginning of the end. They were the end. I just didn't want to see it. There was no speech, no handshake, no, we're really going to miss you. Just HR, in a box. They handed it to me like I was a stranger, like the guy who spent more time in that office than with his own family was just another name on a checklist. I remember looking at the woman from HR. She wouldn't even meet my eyes, said something like, "We appreciate your contributions over the years." It felt rehearsed, like she'd said it 10 times that morning already. I walked back to my desk in a fog. The same desk I'd sat at through layoffs, mergers, promotions. Not always mine, but I stayed. I opened that bottom drawer. Hadn't cleaned in 5 years. There was a mug, my kid. It made me chip now, worn out stress ball. And a photo of my team from way back when people still smiled in those eyes. Acted all in silence. The office hummed around me like nothing had happened. Phones ringing. Emails dinging. People pretending not to watch. The worst part wasn't being fired, it was being forgotten. In real time, as I walked out, box in hands, career in pieces, I caught my reflection in the elevator mirror. Same shirt. Same tired face. But something was different. I wasn't angry yet. I wasn't sad yet. I was just empty. They didn't even say goodbye. 17 years and I left without a single thank you. The first day home. It felt like a sick day, sweatpants. Cereal for lunch. Promise yourself you'll start strong tomorrow. But tomorrow kept slipping. I'd wake up late. Pretend I was taking time to decompress. But the truth was, I couldn't move. Not forward. Not yet. I kept hearing my daughter's voice that first night. "Daddy, did you get promoted?" I just smiled. Said sort of, lied to her face. Because how do you tell a kid that the world doesn't reward loyalty? That the man who never missed a deadline doesn't know what day it is? I stopped answering texts. Stopped calling people back. Even the ones who said, "Let me know if you need anything." What could they give me? My title? My pride? The silence was loud, the kind that fills every corner of a house when you feel useless. Inside it, the fridge buzzed. The lights clicked, and I sat on the couch thinking, who the hell am I now? I spent 17 years being that guy, the dependable one, the safe pair of hands. Now, couldn't even trust myself to fill out an application. My wife would say, "We'll figure it out." I wanted to believe her, but deep down, I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me and I was still falling slowly, quietly, with no one reaching out to catch me. They thought they took everything from me, but what they didn't know is that I never put all my faith in a single paycheck. See, about 4 years before they let me go, I started something. Small at first, just a freelance gig helping a buddy with his startup's operations. A few invoices here, a few late night calls there, then came another client, then another. It wasn't flashy, wasn't enough to quit the day job, but it was growing quietly, consistently. Some nights, I'd be up until 2 a.m. tweaking workflows, studying tax codes, watching business YouTube videos at half volume while my family slept. It was mine, built on my time. It's my terms, my skills. No office politics. No fake smiles, just value, traded honestly. Never told anyone at work. Not out of guilt, but because I knew how they'd see it. Oh, look who's distracted. Side projects mean you're not serious, but I was serious. I just knew that if push ever came to shove, I didn't want to be left scrambling, so when they handed me that box, it hurt. But I also knew something they didn't. I wasn't. Starting from zero, I already had my foundation. I had income. I had clients. I had skills they never even noticed. They fired the version of me they thought they knew, but they didn't know the version I'd been building all along the first time. I woke up without an alarm. ... I panicked. It was a Tuesday. My whole adult life had been suit up, commute, clock in. Structure meant survival. But now, silence meant freedom. And for the first time in a long time, I asked myself, what do I actually want to do today? That was the beginning. I stopped trying to replace the job. I lost and started building the life I wanted. I refined my consulting work, rebuilt my website, charged what I was worth instead of apologizing for my rates. I picked my clients ones who respected my time. I said no for the first time in years, and it felt incredible. I worked hard, yeah, but I wasn't buried anymore. There were walks in the middle of the day, grocery, runs without crowds, afternoons where I picked up my daughter from school and saw her face light up, and the money. It came slowly at first, then steady, then strong, but more than that, confidence came back. Not because someone approved a budget or gave me a raise, because I gave myself permission to rebuild without begging. The people who once decided my future now had no say in it. This wasn't some fantasy. It's overnight success. It was brick by brick, slow, messy, beautiful. And for the first time in years, I wasn't surviving the week. I was designing it. It was a Tuesday again. Funny how life circles back like that. I was in my home office halfway through a strategy call with a new client. Good money, good people, the kind of work that made me feel alive again. That's when my phone buzzed. I glanced down. It was them, the same company that let me go without a handshake, the same one that handed me a box instead of a thank you. At first, I thought it was a mistake. But then, a voicemail. I played it back. Hey, we're reaching out to see if you'd be open to consulting on a few operational challenges we're facing. Could really use your insight. I sat there, still as stone, not angry, not gloating, just ... stunned. They didn't want me back. They wanted the skills they'd taken for granted, the work ethic they had. I'd overlooked the expertise they'd tossed out without a second thought. I didn't call them back right away. I took a walk, sat on a bench near the lake. Let the wind hit my face. Then I smiled, because I realized I didn't need their validation anymore. They thought they broke me, but all they did was free me. I eventually returned the call, not out of spite, because I could, on my terms, with my rates. And when I hung up, I didn't feel triumphant. It felt whole. It took me a while to say this out loud, but here it is. I wasn't fired. I was freed back then. It felt like everything collapsed. I saw it as punishment, failure, rejection. But now I see it for what it really was, release. They didn't just take a job from me. They handed me back my time, my identity, my choices, for 17 years. I shrunk myself to fit inside their walls. Now I get to build my own. I used to think security meant staying put. Now I know it means having the power to walk away. Used to crave a raise. Now I control my income. I used to fear being forgotten. Now I create things people actually remember. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for permission to change, to dream, to choose something better. Getting fired gave me that permission. It forced me to answer a question I'd been avoiding for years. What if this job isn't who I am? Turns out it wasn't. Turns out I'm so much more. I didn't just land on my feet. I built new ground beneath them, and the view from here. It's not just better, it's mine. If I ever wrote a letter to them, to the company, the bosses, the people who once shook my hand and called me family, it wouldn't be bitter. It wouldn't be loud. It would be quiet, measured. Maybe something like this: to the place that let me go. You thought, oh, we're ending something, but you were just clearing space. Space for me to finally breathe, to finally dream, to finally stop proving my worth to people who were never looking. I used to give you the best of me, my energy, my weekends, my belief that loyalty still mattered. But now I know you didn't see me. You saw a position, and that's okay. Because I found someone who does see me. Me, I see the man who started over at 40, who built a business from nothing but grit, who picked up the pieces and turned them into something better. I see the father, the husband, the friend I finally have time to be. So no, I don't hate you, in some strange way. I thank you, because you didn't just let me go. You set me free, and now I go further than you ever thought I could. That's the letter I never sent, because I didn't need to. Some chapters don't need closure. They just need to end, so something better can begin.